Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Ray4K again. I've been away for a while. Haven't really shot much content over the past year or so. Honestly, went through a lot of life changes, new everything, new location. Still here within my state, but yeah, just new everything, new location, new car. I know I've been very quiet, so for those of you who were looking forward to the Sonata content, fortunately I do not have my Sonata anymore. There's a lot that went into it, to be honest with you. A lot of life decisions. So I did ultimately sell the car. I'm starting back fresh though. Not with a Hyundai Sonata, but with this boy right here. So, as you can see, it's an Acura, right? What type of Acura, you may say? It's an Acura TSX, a 2007. Very popular platform for a lot of folks. Fan favorite, right? It's a Honda platform. It has a couple stuff in it. I think what I'm going to be doing for this video is I will, like the Sonata, my first video that I had, I'm just going to talk about it. I have the car for about 4 months now going on. It's a couple stuff that I wanted to highlight on it. A lot that you guys might already know of, but I just want to highlight it anyways. And there's a couple special things about this one in particular. I'm going to be using it. It's the new car for the channel. It's also my daily to get to work. So I'm just going to be highlighting kind of just my journey throughout this car, and I promise you guys that I won't be getting rid of this one anytime soon. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so as I mentioned before, this is a 2007 Acura TSX. This is a part of the first generation of Acura TSX, more notably known as the CL9 platform. CL9 is that platform that Honda kind of had concocted. Within the North American market, it is marketed as the Acura TSX, as you can see. In other markets outside, in Jamaica, where, for example, where I'm originally from, this car is actually the Honda Accord, Euro spec Honda Accord, or Japanese market Honda Accord. So yeah, growing up as a kid, I saw this car a lot, but I saw it as the Honda Accord, not necessarily the Acura TSX. And then there's like minor changes, minor differences between both of them, but the platform more or less is the same. It's the same type of chassis, same type of engine. So it's that K24 engine, which I'll go a little bit more about in detail further down. But yeah, this is just a quick walk around of this car. One of the first things I kind of wanted to highlight to you guys is this color, right? So this color is called Arctic Blue Pearl. Very nice color. Blue is one of my favorite colors, but even beyond that, this is a very special color for the car because it's not very, in my opinion, from what I've seen, it's not very common. It's not the common color that you would see for an Acura TSX, whether that is the first generation TSX, the CL9, or the CU2, which is the second generation, which is this successor. So yeah, you would more notably see possibly black. You would see a gray. I forgot the color name for the gray specifically, but those are the two that I'd see more specifically, and a couple white. You'd see some red. I forgot the color of that maroon red. My girlfriend has that color on her TSX. She has a second gen, but this color, I think it stands out because it's not something that I see a lot, at least when I see TSXs around, and they're very common cars to see around. So yeah, that's one of the things I like about my specific TSX, just the color that I got it in. There's a couple other things, as I had mentioned before, that I'll highlight, but I'll get to that in a bit. Okay, starting off with the back of the TSX, we can see that all TSXs actually have a dual tip exhaust. As you can see, it has a nice rounded cut tip exhaust stock. Of course, it's not a loud car. It is a 4-cylinder engine. It doesn't produce a lot of exhaust, but it's good. It does the job. So as you can see here, we go over, we have the Acura badge. We have the TSX badge. A lot of people that I've seen, at least here over these neck of the woods, that do have Acura TSXs that yearn for that Euro spec, they tend to change the badges out and put on that Honda badge, Euro R, you might say Honda Accord. I, for one, I personally like to keep it as B. I'm very traditional in that sense, but also because I might just be accustomed to growing up and seeing the Euro R spec Accords growing up as a kid. So I think that's one of the reasons why I might just keep this as is. It's nothing new for me to see, basically, so it's not something I really yearn for. Okay, as we go over to the light, I like this, and this is something that is you know, as you kind of look at the first generation versus the second generation, it follows the central theme of the taillights with, of course, the second gen, the CO2 platform. You can see that the headlight is a little bit tweaked. This is more kind of just a straight line cut. I think the second gen, if I'm not mistaken, the light itself differs on the trunk side. It kind of goes up a little bit, so it doesn't kind of have this straight line look to it. One of the things I want to kind of show you is the trunk space. Yep, so I'm gonna go ahead and just pop this trunk open. And as you can see, it's pretty decent space. Right, you could look around. I'm not sure if the number's off my head. I think it's almost 12 cubic feet of space, like 12.8 or something like that. I'll add the correction if I need to correct myself in the description below after this video. But as you can see, it's pretty decent space, and not too snazzy a stock sound system. It has a Pioneer sound system, that's stock from factory. Pretty decent sound and music. Of course, it's not high quality audio. It's no Harman Kardon, it's no JBL speakers, it's no Bang & Olufsen, but it is pretty decent for, at least for its time. Let's go ahead and close this back. Now let's walk around to the side. So as you can see right here, take a look at the wheels, and my wheel's a little botched up for this one, but yeah, we'll just use this as an example. So these wheels come 17-inch in diameter. This particular wheel set, I think it has a 215 in width, 50 series sidewall. Yeah, I think stock back in the day, these cars came with Michelin all-season tires. You can also get a performance tires with it as well as an option back then. But yeah, as you can see, I certainly bought this car secondhand despite its appearance of being brand new. So yeah, those tires are long gone. Okay, one of the things I kind of did quickly to my cars after I got it was tint it, so it kind of gives it a nicer look. I also don't want to drive a fishbowl. One of the things I kind of like about it is this chrome exterior piece. I think the contrast of the exterior chrome piece with the blue, it mixes pretty well. One of the things I kind of want to do to my car as an enhancement down the line is switch the wheels out, which I either get silver or chrome, depending on how I like them. If I wanted to match up to these pieces right here, I might get the chrome. I think that would contrast pretty well with the blue. Oh, need to open the car door. Let's take a look in the car. I like the door sill they have right here, the Acura door sill. Again, Acura is supposed to be that luxury line for Honda, so there's going to be a little bit of things that they would do to their Acura line of stuff that they wouldn't necessarily do in their traditional Honda cars. One of them is this door sill. So I think all specs of the TSX comes with this door sill, whether you get the regular or the navigation. There's not a lot of specs for this. I think down the line you can also get a 6-cylinder, but this is the regular 4-cylinder base model, so no navigation, but still pretty nice. I like this gray. I know in my last car, my Sonata, I had like a black interior. Everything was blacked out, which I really did like. Gray and blue is my two favorite colors. So kind of like the contrast of this. And even if that wasn't the case, I think I could appreciate the kind of just the contrast of this color. As you can see, it's nice leather interior, perforated leather too at that. Yeah, it doesn't have the cloth center as my Sonata did, but it's pretty solid leather. Not very, very soft, but pretty solid nonetheless. Coming to the back of the car, we have 2 door pockets. So my Sonata only had 1, so I guess that's an upgrade from that regard. But yeah, pretty rigid leather door pockets, as you can see. And then you have the speaker system around. Again, it's Pioneer sound system that's within the car, which is again pretty decent, as you can see. Top isn't blacked out like my Sonata, but you know, I'm not really missing it. I do have a sunroof, and I think all TSX models come with a sunroof, regardless of whether you get the base, the navigation, 6-cylinder, or what have you. They all come with kind of just that pretty standard setup. All right, now I'm gonna make my way to the front. Okay, as I come and make my way into the driver's seat, some other features I kind of want to talk about. I know you see this welcome feature come in as soon as you open the door. I want to talk about memory adjustment. So you have 2 settings for memory adjustment. Essentially how it works is you hit memo right here, and then you're able to set your adjustments after you kind of move your seat. So that didn't work just because I'm already in setting. But if I were, for example, to move this and just toggle, I'm just toggling around. What I can do is hit memo and hit this when the car is on, which I might actually have to start the car to kind of give you a better example of it. So let's go ahead and do that. I think it's a good segue as we kind of look at the dash and all the things from the driver's seat side. So let's go to car start. So I have the key right here. As you put the key in the ignition, you see the lights on the dash kind of light up. And there's that famous chime that Hondas make once you turn them on. It's like a very distinctive sound. You can tell it's a Honda product when you hear it. So, as mentioned before, let me see if I can get the camera to kind of just focus a little bit as I'm doing this. Yep. So we have two seat settings, right? So if I wanted to set the seat, you just hit memo. And I'm not gonna mess up my setting for 1 as that's my primary setting, so I'll just hit 2. So hit memo and then hit 2, and now the setting that I kind of just moved my seat to is now set to that seat setting. Just taking all the look at stuff. One of the things I did give up from my Sonata is that electric lock. I mean, it's still electric, but you can see that old school kind of pin design that they kind of use for the locks, especially for the manual cars. Now this is electric in the sense that I can close it from here. I can hit this button and then locks close, hit it back, it opens back. But yeah, it's still an old school design. I do appreciate it. It's a nice aesthetic. I think this car does a pretty good job of kind of mixing up some of the back in the day features from cars in general, not just Honda, but specifically for Honda, with a little bit more contemporary at this time. And if I'm even being honest with you, even in 2024 standards, there's some of this stuff here that you're not going to really be displeased about. You know, for example, kind of just ventilation system itself. It's pretty contemporary. Take a look at the drive knob. It still looks pretty sleek, pretty contemporary. We have a good old-fashioned e-brake right here to the right of us. And this car particularly, I know I said it was an 07, but I did get this car with 58,000 miles. So funny story about that, I had to really drive almost 2 hours away and cross over from states to kind of take a look at this car. When I saw it hit, I went up on Auto Tempest and kind of found this car with that set of miles, looked based off the pictures to be in really good condition. I went to see it the same day they got it, so I wanted to act quickly on it because I know this was something that I was interested in. And at the time, I didn't have my Sonata anymore. So as you could see, it was just it was getting the opportunity to kind of just explore and try something new. So yeah, I saw this car pop up and I kind of capitalized on it. I was looking at some TSXs for a while, and I really more intentionally had my eyes on the first gens. As I had mentioned, there's a lot that I have coming for this car, so definitely stay tuned for that. All right, let's talk a little bit about the features of the car itself as behind the driver's seat. So kind of just talking about some of the features. As you can see, you have your volume knob, you have a channel knob for the radio, which I guess in the second generation of the TSX, you can also use this to switch through music. So this first gen TSX, it does have Bluetooth. However, it doesn't have media playing Bluetooth. It's only Bluetooth for your hands-free. So you can configure your phone on this and you can make calls via Bluetooth from that configuration. However, it doesn't allow you to play music or any type of media. What you can sometimes hear though is if you're still connected through that hands-free Bluetooth, and I think a lot of the Honda products do this of this time, but you are allowed to, not really allowed, but sometimes, for example, if I were to play my GPS, you would hear Siri sometimes kind of speak through that Bluetooth system. So as you can see, this is mode. So that deals with the various sound settings within your sound system. So this is a 6-disc premium sound system. It's pretty old school, but it was very hip for its time in 2007, 2008. But yeah, you can go through, toggle through. You got Sirius XM, and I won't spend too long on that. I don't want to get copyrighted for any songs that play. But you also have cruise control. Right here, you have a cancel button to kind of cancel out any settings that you've set. You have the cancellation button for cruise control. You have the reset button. This is for accelerating. If you'd like to increase your speed for cruise control to set it. and then you have deceleration. To reset, you would just hold, which is why it's signified in kind of more bold settings. To reset, you would hold versus to kind of just tap it. So for example, if I were to tap this, I'm accelerating. If I'm holding this, it would reset my cruise control, versus if I were to tap this, I decelerate, and then hold it would set the current speed that I have. So let's go a little bit through the information. This is the information button. So it kind of controls the different types of displays that you could see in the middle. So right now you could see it's talking about kind of just trip A, which I guess is just doing a count of like the amount of miles that I've driven since this was last reset. You can see the mileage at the bottom there. So I put about 2,000 miles on this car, got it around 58,600. If I press some of the button, you can see some of the stuff. And as you can see, it's 52 miles of range left, which means I need gas. Elapsed time, how much time has passed since the car is turned on, average speed, and then this goes into kind of just the trip settings. So if I were to reset the trip A setting, this would also be reset. So it's saying on average I went through 34 miles an hour throughout the whole trip. This lets you see tire pressure. You can press the select button right here, and it tells you what's your tire pressure that you're running, and then back. So yeah, there's not a lot for that. But then also, if you press the select button, you're able to toggle through what you could see at the bottom part of the display. So I just pressed it, shows me what's the current temperature outside. Trip B, which in my opinion, and I'm not sure how that differentiates from trip A, is telling my current oil life. And that's it. Not a lot of features, but again, bear in mind this is a base level Acura TSX, and this is 2007. So you have the temperature gauge right there, your cooling system, you have your speedometer, and you have your tachometer as well. You have your fuel gauge on the right, on the extreme right. As we take a look right here, we could see some nice big bold buttons. So we have the temperature button to control the interior temperature. You can turn auto or off. You do have dual climate control, so if you press this right here, you're able to differentiate temperature between the driver's side and the passenger side. And then all the pretty basic or standard like climate control features that you would see right here. Mode essentially just changes the different type of climate controls. If you wanted it to the windscreen, if you wanted to blow both to face and feet, and all the other set various options that you normally would have. I already talked a little bit about kind of just the sound system itself, so I won't go in depth for that. But yeah, this is kind of just more or less the setup. Oh, before I even forget, because I think when I did my Sonata video, I didn't really talk about the sunroof. So interestingly enough, the sunroof controls is right here by your leg. So normally, and what I'm accustomed to when I had my Sonata was I had it here, kind of just on the driver's side. I will show you how to work that. All right, so as we roll this over right here, you see a nice size sunroof, not panoramic, just a regular size sunroof up top. Now this button right here, what it does is it lifts the roof itself. So I'm gonna press it while holding the camera here just so you can see it. So that button raises it. This button brings it back to a close up top. So let me just focus the camera there. Yep. And then this button slides the entire thing off. So if I were to do this, one thing about it though is it's not electronic, it's not automatic, so I have to keep holding the button to let it open all the way. If I let go at any point in time, it will stop. So I'm just gonna go back and close this. And as mentioned before, nothing's automatic, so I have to hold on to the button the whole time for it to close. But it's good that it's there though, right? It's good that it has a sunroof, and it's good that it's on all trim levels, so you get that little bit of luxury back then in 2007 for Acura. Yeah, I'll do a video kind of just about how this car drives. I'm gonna talk a little bit, you know, there's differences between it and the Sonata in terms of various things like curb weight, in terms of kind of just horsepower, output, torque, and of course the engine. So yeah, and I think I'm actually going to step out of the car and kind of just show you how the engine goes right now. Before I do that though, another thing I'd like to highlight is you have a button right here that you can use to automatically adjust your side mirrors, which I think is pretty cool, especially at this year back in there. And one other thing that my 2019 Sonata didn't have that this car does have is you have a defroster for your driver's side mirror, which is pretty cool. So, you know, living in New England in this Northeast, especially here, and I know you guys can see snow on the floor, this is pretty nifty to have, right? Now, I keep this car mostly in the garage, so very seldom would I have an opportunity, unless I went somewhere and it freezes over, that I would have frost on my side mirrors. But it's still really, really, really cool to have. All right, let's open the car. Down here we have this pull button allows you to open a trunk, and the push button right here opens the fuel cap. And if you actually look in the corner right here, if you flip this right here, that opens up the hood of the car bonnet. I think one of the first things I want to talk about involves the fuel tank, so I will push this just to say it right there, please. Now, the TSX is a pretty common platform, as mentioned before, so a lot of people have their opinions about it, because a lot of people own TSXs, and a lot of people are self-proclaimed gurus, experts about the TSXs. One of the things that a lot of people usually have a debate about is what type of gas to run on your TSX. Now, I know people who run regular 87, 89, even though it's recommended to run premium. A lot of people will have certain opinions. One of the most popular opinions is kind of just the engine that it's running, being a 4-cylinder engine, unless it's the 3.5 liter V6 a counterpart, that it just wouldn't make sense to run anything above 87. For me, I'm very traditional. I know it's not necessary, but I only put 93 in this car, which is the only premium octane gas that's around in my area. I would put 91 if I had that option, but I do only put premium octane fuel in this. I think the first owners as well, they only ran premium gas. They really were by the books. So this car was, as you can see, it's near showroom in terms of appearance. You know, so I think they were really by the books. They kept it was like garage kept, ran only 93 or premium octane gas. So I'm just gonna keep up that tradition. Where I am, gas prices aren't as bad relative to where I lived last year. So, you know, I just run 93. I think the fuel capacity for this tank, if I'm not mistaken, is about 17.1 gallons. Sounds like a big tank, but in my opinion, whenever I fill this up, it fills up too fast. So I'm not sure. But if you see the sticker right here, it says premium unleaded fuel only, see owner's manual. Another interesting tidbit about this, which I think I need to read up a little bit more knowledge wise, is on the second gen TSXs, what it actually says is premium unleaded fuel recommended, not premium unleaded fuel only. I'm not sure if it's that they just got a little bit more lenient in terms of like what you can include in your car, especially with a lot of people not really necessarily adhering to only putting premium, or if that second generation they kind of did some modifications to kind of just their fuel intake to allow the car to be able to still be as efficient without losing out on some sort of output efficiency or carbon buildup with just using regular unleaded fuel as well. All right, last but not least, now why don't we take a look at what's under the hood. So I'm gonna pop this right here. I'm so in love with this color. All right, well, let's pop the hood. So, reaching for that little flap, you'll find a little flap here that you have to just lift up. I'm not sure if I can really show you guys. But you lift this up, and then you see the bonnet. I'm just gonna put the camera down. Don't have a tripod yet. Here. And there it is. There's that famed K24 engine, the engine that lasts practically forever, longer than your own lifespan. There's a lot that you can do with this engine, and a lot that people do with this engine. As mentioned, my car currently came with 58,000 miles, currently has 60,000 miles on it. I know people that run this car way over 200, up into 300s, even 400,000 miles, and still have the car running, and did nothing super major but oil change and A little bit of changing out of bearings here and there, more parts that get a little bit old, but nothing major. This is a very bulletproof setup that Honda has. It's one of their very famous VTEC engines. It's that 2.4 liter K24 engine, outputting about 205 horsepower and about 168 pound-feet of torque. This car is made into two different options for transmission. So you have that famed 6-speed manual transmission, as well as a 5-speed, I think it's called Shift Sport, automatic transmission, which is the one that I have. So yeah, boohoo. I don't have the manual transmission, but still a lot of goodies with this car, and I still love it regardless. You can see the engine here. My engine bay actually looks pretty fresh, pretty clean. Again, this car was not driven a lot, so it hasn't really got much for beating. So this engine itself is still practically a baby. But yeah, a lot to come for this car, a lot to come for some changes, some enhancements, some modifications that I have in mind. This is a very popular car for people to modify and kind of just make it their own. So there's a lot of options out there, of which I'm still kind of just playing around with the options in my head. But yeah, a lot to come for this vehicle, so I really hope you guys stay tuned. And yeah, this is kind of just me wrapping up the video now. Yeah, joking. I'm not gonna wrap it up like that. But yeah, in all seriousness, a lot of content to come, a lot to do with this car. I have a whole running list of 50 plus things to do. So yeah, please stay tuned with me through this journey. There's a lot that I have to come, that I have to do to this car. It might take a couple years, might take a year or two, probably even more. But yeah, this is a journey I'm excited for. And I'm really excited to kind of bring this content to you guys. I know it's been a while. I know a lot of you guys, I've gotten a lot of good feedback regarding kind of just my Sonata videos. So it's very sad. I'm very saddened to say that I don't have the Sonata anymore. It did run its course, took its time. But who knows? Maybe we'll see another Hyundai on the channel again in the future. But for now, I'm gonna have fun with kind of just doing some stuff to this. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I promise you that I'm gonna start being more active. If you are already a subscriber, you know, I thank you for kind of just sticking with me through this journey. I thank you in advance for watching this video. Yeah, more to come. Please like, please share, and again, please subscribe. And yeah, that's it that I have. So until then, peace everyone.